Hey, in this video, you are going to see a tutorial and review of MindCart AI. And MindCart AI is a software that helps you make marketing decisions confidently. And what that means for us as Amazon sellers, for example, we want to pick the right title for a product, for example, a title that will resonate with the audience and people will click on that title and actually even buy because of that title. And with MindCart AI, what we can do is we can find the right sort of things to put in the title. And in this video, we're going to go deeper into that. And hopefully Danny, who's our guest today, is the founder of MindCart AI. He can explain it a bit better. And then we're going to dive in the tutorial. And in the description, we're going to have also some special discount for the viewers of this video. So we're going to do tutorial review. We're going to go through the pricing. Danny, welcome, man. What's up?
Thank you, Vova.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
That was a great introduction. You got it spot on.
Thank you, man.
Good messaging. So
tell us about yourself, man, about MindCart a little bit. Let's get to know you.
So my background is in consumer intelligence, helping companies understand their target audience and what their target audience wants. I worked for many years with some of the largest consumer goods and services companies like Nestle, Unilever, Kraft, MasterCard, helping them understand when they have new products and new marketing launches. Like I always say, they need to have the right product with the right message to the right person, right? To the right people. If you don't get those three things right, you're probably going to fail on your launch. Okay. That doesn't matter if you're the biggest company or the smallest company. When you're launching on Amazon, you're launching on Shopify, a new product, you're launching a new ad campaign on Facebook, you need to have the right product with the right message to the right people. Doesn't sound, like super mind-blowing, but it's very important and it's not so hard to figure out. And so we took all that, the methodology that we used with the biggest companies, and I put that and I built that into MindCart. I'll go quickly just to go over, here, if you go to MindCart.ai, okay, you're going to see very, very simply make marketing decisions confidently, and you can get started in 30 minutes or less. You'll see right here how quickly it is, how easy it is. Like I said, this is methodology that's been used with some of the largest companies in the world to make sure they get things right. And now we're putting it in the hands of everybody.
Nice.
If you scroll down, we're making marketing fundamentals win more, right? If you have the right methodology, you're gonna get it right. Traditional market research, if you're just like doing surveys and asking questions, it's hard to understand, hard to know what people really want. People typically just make up answers. So start guessing, and we're going to get into what we call hyper-specific consumer insights. Okay, so let me show you how it works. Very simply, you go here. Once you have an account, we're going to show you how to get an account at the end. But right now, you click login. That takes you to the login page. Once you log in, this is what you're going to get to. Here's a list of my campaigns that I'm working on right now. I'm going to show you how you build one very quickly and easily in the matter of minutes. Okay, you click here to create study.
Danny, just a second for the audience to understand. So we can improve, again, for example, want to improve our title on Amazon, want to see what works, what's the best title. So we will sort of ask with the power of MindCart AI, different people, right? On what is it that is the best for our title? For example, just for people to understand, for example, which product we're going to use? A nail, are we still going to use that example? Nail.
Yeah.
Polish
a nail gel machine.
Nail gel machine. So for example, we have a nail gel machine and we want to understand like what is good, like what people want in that. And we can add like things that we're going to add now, for example, some features. And then based on these features, we will fire them to the people that will be going through that survey sort of, and they will see what resonates with them. And then we get back the data, right? Just to kind of.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
That's a great overview of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I can sit in my room and try to make up a title myself, right?
Yes.
Or I can look on Amazon and look at what other people's titles are. But what's the problem? What's going to end up happening? I'm just going to make another title that looks like everybody else, right? And what's going to make me stand out? What's going to make my product stand out? How do I know what people want to hear, what people want to see? When people scroll, most people nowadays, right, we know, buy stuff on Amazon on their phones.
Yes.
Go to Amazon on your phone. All you see are titles and pictures. That's it. right? When you get the search results,
Mhm.
even on Amazon on your computer, it's just titles and pictures. What makes a person click? Yes, image is very important, and we can actually analyze and find the best pictures also.
Mhm.
But what's in your title, what makes you stand out, is so important, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Just give myself a study name, like you said. We're going to do the nail gel machine, and like I told you, Vova, I have 5 girls,
Yeah.
so 5 daughters, so I know a little bit about nail machines.
Right.
Okay. I've never used one, but I've
Yeah.
but I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay. So like you said, we're going out, we're going to show these ideas to real people, the people that you target on Amazon. Okay. And so we want to give them a little idea about what they're going to see, right? So we say, let us know how you feel about each description of a nail gel machine. Okay. That's just to say that you're collecting information. We're not identifying any information. We're not collecting any identifiable information from anybody. Okay.
So we want them to in the responded orientation. It's like let us know how you feel about each description. So we're gonna give them different descriptions, and we kind of frame them. We tell them, hey, when you see what we're showing you, tell us how you feel about it. Or we could have said like what bothers you in what you see, for example, or what excites you about the description or something like that, right? We want to put them in a pre-frame them and what we want to sort of for them to tell us, right?
Correct.
About the things we're going to show them.
And all they do is just like when you're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, they're just going to do thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down. We're going to show them a bunch of ideas, and they're just going to do that. So what everybody does all day long.
Yeah.
So how many people are we going to have? Typically, we recommend 200. Okay, but if you want to do a quick and dirty, you can do quick and dirty at 50. Okay, we click save.
And what's sourcing respondents? There's MindCart AI and Self. What does that mean?
Yeah. So if you have a way to get your own, let's say you have a mailing list of people, okay, an email list that you want to get responses from, you can do that. What happens is we give you a survey link that you send out to your list, and the responses still get processed through MindCart, and the results still get processed through MindCart.
Pretty cool, man.
We do it for content creators as well.
Nice. Okay, so next one is rating question.
Rating question. So what do they when they see their stuff? You can ask them a bunch of different questions depending on what in this case, you wouldn't say what you eat this for nail gel machine. Do you like this? So I typically like to say, how do you feel about this? Okay, but we give you questions. If you want to use those questions, that's fine too. And now we get to
Danny, can you go back a little bit with the rating question? Rating question is the question we present on each screen that your respondents are asked to read and rate. So can you explain that a little bit more?
We're going to be showing them different ideas about a nail machine. Okay. Right? Different descriptions about a nail machine.
Right.
And for each description, they're going to click thumbs up or thumbs down based on this question. Okay. If you want to talk to them, it could be depending on what you're showing, because we're just giving one example, but let's say you're talking about food. Right? Would you eat this? Right? Let's say you're talking about, I don't know, like law, right? Does this apply to you? Would you purchase this product? How much do you identify with these statements? How well does this resonate? These are all different nuances. We give a lot of options.
Okay. We have one question only, or we can have a few rating questions? One. Okay.
Yeah, and that's important because we want to get a person's gut. We don't want them to think too much. It's kind of like, just like I said, when those search results come up on Amazon, a person scrolls and clicks. They're not thinking too much. You know what I mean? It's more of what we're trying to get, what kind of hits them, what kind of hits their gut.
Understand.
Fine. So now we're going to go into all the ideas that make up the description that we show people. Okay. So we break everything down into 4 parts, no matter what we're talking about. And those 4 parts may be different, but in the case of a title for Amazon, right? If you think about your title in 4 different parts, it's, what it is, right? That's most important. And then what it does for people, what benefit does it provide people? Okay. Who uses it, right? When they use it, like a usage occasion, and you talk a little bit about the quality of the product, right? What's special about the product. Okay. So those are different components. That's how you break down your idea. And that's what we want to do. And then you create bullet points for each of those components. So what I did is I prepared that here, and I'll jump to that section where I filled this all in, so we don't have to sit here and watch me fill this in. Yeah. It's like, on those cooking videos where, they make all the ingredients and then they put it into the oven, right? Yeah. So here it is all ready.
Okay.
Okay. My first section, my first component or dimension is customization. Here are different aspects of how a nail machine can be customized. Which one of these should I, or maybe not any of these, what should I put into my title? Do any of these make a difference? It's up to 8 hours of continuous use. That's a lot of nails, right? But think about a nail salon. Maybe they're buying, right? Yeah. And they need something that, doesn't overheat. It has adjustable heat levels, right? Because you're putting your fingers into this thing, right? That's how these works, right? You put the nail, your fingers in, so you don't want to be too hot. Bluetooth speaker, play music. Why not? I don't know. Adjustable runtime. That's how long you want the machine to stay on for, because sometimes you forget, right? You're in a nail salon, you're doing multiple nails, or, like I said, I have 5 daughters. So you got 5 of these going on at the same time. I don't want to forget about one of them, right?
Yes.
Get overcook her nails, right?
But Danny, we have to come up with these kind of customization things. Like, we need to know, like, it's not like MindCart tells that to us. We need to know some stuff about our product, right? Obviously, so we can kind of survey the audience and ask, right? So we need to know that we have a Bluetooth speaker that allows to play music, and we will say that we have up to 8 hours of continuous use, so we can then understand, does this bullet that I came up with that it's good to me, it seems good, does it even resonate with the audience? Maybe it's good to me, but I don't even.
Correct. Exactly. Very important point, that yes, you are coming up with these ideas, and it's important to brainstorm, you know what I mean? And really try to look all over, do your research, making sure that you include all your ideas. Okay. A lot of different ideas, very diverse. And again, very unique. You're looking for unique ideas because you want to know what stands out. Here's value propositions. Okay. And I created these dimensions. Everybody, you can create your own dimensions, how to divide up the different components, but eco-friendly device. It's quiet. It's secure. It has the lid closes so that it's secure. A variety of nail polish. Do people care about that? Is that something I should invest in or not? Right. That makes a big difference in terms of product cost. Right. Then it talks about manufacturing and materials, right? About the quality of the product. It's made from sustainable materials. Is there a group of people that cares about that? Maybe. I don't know. Right? Doesn't chip or peel. Maybe they've had some bad experiences. This is another important point, Vova, what you brought up about, coming up with ideas. Look at product reviews of your competitors, right? If this is an issue in your competitors, you want to make sure to highlight that. Made by a brand that produces their own unique nail polish. Maybe that's important to them. Last one is convenience, compact and portable. Do people care? USB-C, right? Comes with, do they care that it comes with a wire or not, right? Or they have to supply their own wire, wireless and rechargeable, remote control. Okay. Again, these are just a variety of different ideas. Once you put those all in, you're pretty much good to go.
So you recommend us filling all the 4 dimensions with, as you mentioned, and again, it might depend based on product, right? But what is the product? Sort of what are the unique attributions of this product, right?
How is it made? The quality,
yes,
and convenience. How it's used and how it makes it easy to use.
All right. No, I'm just asking because, like, for example, if we understand it, because a person might be like, yeah, Danny, pretty cool. Like, you're showing this, but I don't know what to write here. Like, what do I even go through? So as you mentioned, if you think about what it is, like the quality, sort of what it does, how it improves their lives, then you put that and see if you're right or wrong, sort of. It's like, but that I thought about, like, maybe somebody's like, I'm not even sure what do I add to MindCart AI. Like, so it's good. So what it is, the quality, how it helps the person. And if you can even use this video as an example, once you're going to be doing it for your own product, you can open up the video, see like, okay, maybe I don't have a nail machine, but maybe it's a, I don't know, like a baseball bat, a bad example, but any product actually why baseball bat, maybe somebody needs it to be made out of wood. Is it important that it's made out of wood, and there's a iron place to hold it? Does it even matter to the people, or does it matter that there's a specific size, or does it matter that it hits the ball and doesn't crash it, or you know what I mean? Like, it sounds weird probably, but like, so.
Exactly. The truth is, this building these statements and how you do that is a bit of an art, right?
Mhm.
And comes with experience. And yes, we can do a video that talks specifically about that,
Mhm.
how to come up with these ideas
Yeah.
and
Okay.
how to brainstorm. It's a lot about looking at competition. Like I said, looking at product reviews and seeing what people like or don't like on other products. Okay, looking off of Amazon, going to websites, Shopify websites, Wix websites, e-commerce sites that are selling these types of products, and seeing how they're promoting the products.
Mhm.
And even on Alibaba, when you're doing product sourcing, right?
Mhm.
What are the features that they're promoting?
Yeah.
These are all places where you can get ideas.
Understand.
Okay, that's talking all about what you're trying to understand. Now let's talk about the market. Like I said, you need the right product with the right message to the right market, the right people. Okay, you can look at people a lot of different ways. Age range, right? I can look at gender, and Vov, I mentioned, you might think that a nail machine may be more for females, but like I said, I've got 5 daughters. I buy these machines, and you never know who's going to show up, right? And who's looking for these machines. So you don't want to limit yourself, right? You want to see, what do men think? What do men care about? Yearly income. Maybe there's, different tiers, different types of products you might want to be selling it, depending on how much you're selling for. Are you selling, a $30 product, a $50 product, a $300 product?
So people will need, Danny, to input that before they start a survey. They will say their age, they will say their gender and their yearly income. They have to sort of write it inside when they give the answer, or it's more like the targeting that's gonna be
This is
hitting
targeting.
these
Correct.
targeting. Okay.
This
Okay.
is like Facebook. This is like Facebook targeting. We already know who we're searching for, and we can find you. We can find anybody.
Yeah.
And you also might want to add a question, right? In this case, I added a question: how often do you do your nails? Okay, you want to find people who do their nails more than once a week, once every 2-3 weeks, once a month or less.
And then they will have to choose the answer for them. They have 4 options. They choose the right answer.
In this case, they're going to choose, right?
Okay.
Okay, that granular I'm not able to get, so they're going to choose, and we're going to be able to look at the results based on that to see, is there a difference between a person who uses it more often versus less often? Okay. You can also limit in terms of, we have a whole array of different ways you can kind of focus on who you want to talk to. Okay, what types of publications they read, and there's a lot of, we put this in the system for very specific situations, but in general, we recommend that you don't limit it, because like I said, you never know who's out there. This is an exploratory process of learning what is motivating to the audience and who's going to be interested in what you're offering. Okay, so we generally recommend not to limit, but in specific situations, you are able to limit it.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Danny? So qualification, can you quick please on that again? I'll add qualification. Let's say, as you mentioned, you say that generally you don't really recommend that, but let's say what is your race? Like, if people need to answer that, or what does it mean? Like, or how does it work?
Yeah. So if I choose this option as part of the actual exercise,
yes,
the people are going to be asked to answer these. To select, and like right now, I decide which ones I want to include. You see?
Okay.
And only the ones that I have a check next to are going to be included are going to be able to participate.
I understand. Okay, so it narrows down further our audience that we're surveying, right? Okay, I understand. Sure. But as you mentioned again, it's, if we go in too much in depth, then we might miss out on people. So in the beginning, you don't really say that we should do that. Okay.
We ask one open-ended question, meaning as part of this exercise, right? They're going to be evaluating the statements that we put in, and we ask them one question. So this is a popular question that I like to ask. Thinking about everything that you saw, what price would you consider expensive but still be willing to pay? I find that question really brings out people's real feelings. You don't have to ask a question, but if there's something that you're interested in, this is the place to do it. We'll talk about this a little bit more later, but I will also say, because we're going through this together, Vova, and the people who are watching this, when you come to use MindCart, we're going to help you, right? You're not on your own. This is, we'll call this assisted SaaS. And for your viewers, we're going to add that value. We're going to help you through this process and make sure that you do it the best way possible, so you're going to get the best results you can get. Okay.
Yeah, again, because maybe somebody's like, okay, there's an open-ended question. What do I ask? Like, I'm not good at asking questions, and that's perfectly fine. Although I would recommend generally people to improve their ability of asking questions, but that's another story. But again, maybe the person's like, man, I'm not sure. Well, as you said, Danny, there is help if such needed. Okay.
You're not on your own, and especially, like I said, for your viewers, we're going to be actively involved to make sure it includes everything the best possible way. Okay. So that's about it. So you click start study and off it goes. Now what happens, right? It goes to, right. It becomes part of the list over here. Okay. And here you can see, how many have completed. Once it reaches its total, then we get the results. Okay. And this is typically what the results look like in a nutshell. I'll go through it very quickly. This is an example. In this case, we had just about 12,000 impressions. Okay. And that's how we record. We need thousands of impressions to understand what's working, what's not working. And we get these impressions usually in a few hours. And it gives us enough information to do our analysis. What are we trying to come away with over here, right? In the end of the day, we want to create an impactful title. What's going to stand out when people see it when they're scrolling? Okay, what's considered impactful? So we have a little range over here. We want to get to 90 plus, ideally. 80 plus is moderate. Under 70 is too low. Okay, so we want to try to get as high as possible. Now, what gets me as high as possible? Remember, we had a bunch of different ideas. Here are the top 3 messages. Okay, top 3 statements that if I put these in my title, these are going to get me the highest impact. Adjustable runtime comes with a variety of nail polish, so I'm going to have to make that investment if I want to put that in. And premium quality, okay? And that gets me an impact of 100. Now, it's important to know you can never make everybody happy, right? So it shows me here my reach, the number of people I'm going to make really excited about this is about 30% of the people. So about 30% of the people that see this are going to say, yeah, I want that. That sounds pretty good to me. 30%, that's a pretty good click-through rate, right? Now, just to give you alternatives, if I want, I could swap something out to say eco-friendly or, lid closure, right? And I'll only lose 1 point of impact. So if I want to change one of these out, I don't want to, make that investment of quality of including nail polish. So I'll put in eco-friendly, no problem.
I just wanted to mention, Danny, that maybe a person's watching now is like, okay, there's 101. What are these numbers? These are internal numbers of MindCart AI that there are to just understand the results. So obviously, if we're going on the left here, we're talking about highest impact. So based on the numbers that you guys came up with, right? So 80 plus is moderate. That means that this is having some impact, but it's moderate. But if it's on the high impact 90 plus category, if it lands there and we get these results back, that means that these messages resonate with, say, 30% of people, but on a very high level. Like 30% of people will be like fired up, like, wow, like something like that, right? So,
exactly. Right.
But on the other hand, there's the broadest reach.
So then if you want to have a broader message that appeals to a wider audience, okay, so then here are the messages. It's slightly different. Instead of talking about these, you're gonna take a hit on impact. I'm gonna go down to 86 instead of 101. Okay, so I lost 15%. So I'm down into the moderate range, but I'm going to appeal to more people. Okay, then I need to talk about 8 hours of continuous use. Eco-friendly becomes more important. premium quality is still important, and they want a remote control. Alternatively, I can talk about wireless and rechargeable, adjustable runtime, manufactured with sustainable materials. These are alternatives. This is if I want to get a broader reach. I personally typically try to go with the higher impact, because I want to know I'm going out there with the best message. As long as I have a decent reach, which 30% for me is a decent reach. If I only had a 10% reach, I'd be like, okay, I don't think that's a good idea. But 30% of the people, that's pretty good. And I'd rather get the most impactful message. That being said, broadest reach are, we have customers that prefer to go with a broader reach because they want to get more clicks. Okay, that's what it's all about. You want to get more clicks. And sometimes if you're first launching a product, right, it's very important to get more clicks, right? Because that's going to help you rank, right? So that would be a case where you'd want to go with a broader reach if you're first launching a listing. And then you might want to switch to your higher impact once you've got rank, and now you're more focused on getting conversions. So this is going to get you more conversions. Okay, so that's an example of how you can use the broad reach versus high impact.
Let me quickly see if I can sum it up. Let's go back to the baseball bat example. Let's say that there are people who are looking for a baseball bat, and then maybe broadest reach, people are interested in a baseball bat that just is a strong wooden material that wouldn't break. But there's going to be a highest impact of people that if we mention that this baseball bat is good for hitting, I don't want to say people, obviously, but let's do this weird example, like a GTA style. They're going to be fired up by this weird thing, and they're going to click. So we're going to have a high impact on that GTA lovers.
Exactly. To a very specific group of people. Like you said, that's a good example of a statement that's a usage occasion. Right? It's an unusual usage occasion. It's not for using for baseball, it's using for something else. And there are people out there who care about that, right?
Right.
Hey, man, whatever sells.
Yeah, good point. Okay, cool, man. So, but this one we're going to get after a few hours, or the bigger the audience we want to reach, probably like 50 is going to come back faster than 200. What's the generally the time?
Yeah. And, depends on how many people and also the type of people, right? That's why if it's a very broad audience, it's going to be faster. If you limit that criteria to only specific people, it's going to take longer, but it's usually a few hours.
And then we get that to our email, or inside MindCart we get and so inside MindCart we're going to have complete, right? And then we can see this.
And you download the results,
and
you're off to the races. You're ready to launch.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And for those who are wondering, like, what would be the pricing of that? For example, like, okay, we had a specific amount of impressions. By the way, it landed up as 11,000 impressions in this case. Do we have an impact on the amount of impressions, or it's just, it depends on, like, how does it work?
So it depends on the number of people that you choose. To get 50 people, I'm going to have fewer impressions than,
okay, I see what you mean.
Than 200 people.
Okay, I understand. And then what would be the pricing?
Great question. So to give you an idea, right, we're talking about, in this case, an Amazon listing where you're launching a new listing. So if you think about how much you spend on PPC, right, on a specific day, right, you may set a budget of $20, $200. Each click could cost you a couple of bucks, right?
Easily. So
if you're $20, you're going to get 10 clicks. If you're $200, you're going to get 100 clicks, right? That can give you an idea of how much this costs here. Usually on the lower end, we go with about 5,000 impressions. On the higher end, we go with about 10,000 impressions, right? 5,000 to 10,000 impressions. And each impression costs about 10 cents. So the 5,000 impressions costs about $500, right? So that's, a few days of your PPC campaign. And the 10,000 impression, the example I gave here, which was almost 12,000 impressions. So that's about $1,200. We typically recommend it's, perfectly like the 5,000 impression range gives you the results that you need. And of course, the more impressions you get, the more solid the results are. And the more confident you can be that you're gonna get the results in real time in real life what you get from us, but that's about the range.
Yeah, so the more impressions, like the more eventually people interact and the more answers we get. So generally the higher the better, but you can play with it. It depends, again, probably on the product. Maybe once people are going to be talking with your people, they can ask like, hey, what do you recommend me for this product, right? And then from there, it can be taken sort of further to see maybe better to do, let's say 100 or 200. That was responses, right? That we get, or people actually that are giving their opinions. And Danny, also I wanted to mention, and to our viewers, we're going to have a sort of a discount code that can help you save a little bit here. And that's going to be VOVA10 code.
Yeah. If you click on the contact us, that's going to bring up a page where you put in your information, put in your name, your company, your email, and right here where you say tell us more, you type in VOVA10.
I mean, tell more, like not only VOVA10, you can say, right, of course, say about your company, say, but you can mention the code itself, right?
Yes, you can tell us. Yes.
Of course, this is also a way to do that, but I guess
you want to get a 10% discount.
Yes.
And like I said, the personalized service where we're going to walk you through it and make sure it's done right and services your needs. Put in over 10.
Yeah, I think it's thank you first for allowing this discount to happen. That's pretty cool. And aside that, I'll say that again, from my experience of being a seller for over 6 years and being a marketer online for about this amount of time, a little bit more even, and doing all this content creation thing that I've been doing, hundreds of videos. And if you want better results, you gotta know what to say and to say it to whom, if I can even say it this way. So it sometimes takes time. Okay, you can do that. There are a few ways to take it. You can just by doing that yourself and sort of seeing what works, what doesn't, which is fine, right? And you can actually get the results. Maybe you're even gonna hit the jackpot on your first, sort of either title or YouTube title or whatever that is. Or you can use data and get responses, and then it will probably save you time and money, in my opinion, because you get exact results based on what you're asking. And as you mentioned, Danny, this might be sort of an art to know what to ask, to know on which criteria to put in, and like to see, to understand. Maybe that's a bit connected to, I don't know if it's copywriting or positioning or all these things together, to know like what to survey on, but like then you get responses. Real people tell you the answers, and then it's much easier to launch products this way, or even to develop products this way, I would say, right?
Absolutely, that's right.
Danny, before we wrap it up, any sort of wishes you have for us for 2022? Maybe we're just starting the year, sort of people are still like maybe are like, whoa, we're in a new year. Like, what do you think is something you would wish this audience here?
Yeah, so like you said, we're in a new year and it's exciting. A lot of unknown. We're in uncharted territory in the world, but that's always an amazing time. And the people who kind of take initiatives during this time are the ones who are going to have the greatest opportunity to stand out. Because a lot of people are just kind of sitting back and kind of saying, I give up. I always say the only way to guarantee failure is to give up. Okay. The ones who keep going and keep trying, they're the ones who find success.
So may we all find success. May we keep going. If you need any help on keep going, you're always welcome to drop a comment or just drop me a message personally. I want to see people keep going. I saw some people in my life that stopped, like some friends, and that's fine. Like that's their choice, and maybe that was even the right choice. You never know. But for those who feel like they want to continue, keep going, and hopefully you will. We have a new year, and there's a lot to do. I wish everybody a great year, and you too, Danny, and your family, man, everyone. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for today. Yes. Thank you.